Hey everybody, shaves across the decade, or in this case, a half decade, 2015 to 2020, and you're watching Barber Dave's Shaves and Such.
Over time I noticed there's nothing about this that ever feels quite normal. Kinda like we're always in a free fall. And if I had a time machine, I'd tell you, darling, it's not gonna be so bad. But knowing me, I wouldn't.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hey, you know what time it is. That's right, www.theshavingcadre.com. Please come and visit us. We'd certainly appreciate it. Then right up here at Drinks and Daves on YouTube. And then also, if you're enjoying the shows, whether it be the Shaves Across the Decades or any of the videos that we have on Barber Dave's Shaves and Such, right down there. Please follow that all the way across. We'd certainly appreciate it. Our next big giveaway will be at 1,100 subscribers. Okay, 2015 to 2020. Why did I split this up? Well, the half decade between 2015 and 2020 was huge for me. Career change, actually before 2015. The Shaving Cadre came into existence in 2018, so that was huge. We left the old forums and concentrated on this and building a forum that was self-moderated, gentlemanly, and it has become a very special place. So please, like I said earlier, check it out. Also, one of the biggest things, and this sounds funny for those of you that are smokers, it's a huge thing, but I still smoke cigars. Different story. We can get into that some other time. But I quit smoking cigarettes, and I had smoked cigarettes roughly since about 8th grade, so I had been smoking quite a while. And part of it actually happened on a dare. We were at some friend's house. I was looking at, I'm into photography, and I was looking at a new camera that had a single lens rather than multi-lenses like my 7D Mark II, my Canon. And Sony made this one that had, a focal length from macro all the way to 600 millimeters. And I was like, wow, this is cool. Well, we got on the subject of smoking, and my spouse decided to say, you're not going to quit smoking. If you do, I'll buy you that camera. And it was said in jest. And I perked up with the ears the size of Dumbo. I said, wait a minute, what? And she goes, if I quit smoking, I will buy you that camera. Now, this was a very sizable investment, but everybody heard it, so she couldn't back out of it, even though she tried to. So I said, challenge accepted. So I picked a date, and I quit smoking. But in the process of doing that, I started realizing my iPhone had become a good replacement for my camera, and the 7D Mark II and all my lenses were fine. Did I really need another camera? Just like, did I really need more razors? Well, I started searching, and I found this guy because I had the Sapofficcio Veracino razor. I said, this guy Korat, what could he do? And he had this great thing, and it was a razor configurator. And so I wanted a razor because Game of Thrones was really big then, and I collect dragons along with other things. But Viserion from Game of Thrones was a real big dragon, the Ice Dragon, and I wanted to come up with a dragon type razor. And so I went back to the spouse and said, hey, can I modify our little deal? And she goes, well, you're not going to make it anyways. I said, okay, fine. And I was already a couple weeks into quitting smoking, and I did it day by day, hour by hour, and finally quit cold turkey. And I've been smoke-free since 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. But anyways, so I talked her into saying, yes, I'll buy the razor. Plus, it was a cheaper deal for her. And this razor has actually come to represent two things. One, the fact that I quit smoking, which for anybody who's been a smoker is probably one of the hardest things you'll ever do in life. It's tough. It's an addiction. And it represents what Korat can do to a razor, number one, and number three, and finally, what it meant that she actually felt it was important enough for me to quit smoking to give me this. And this is also a razor that is, for some reason, is much sought after among my brethren at the Cadre, although I don't think they'll ever get it. But that's up to her after I'm long by way of the dodo. So anyhow, the razor we're going to use today is a straight razor, of course, and it is the Korat Ice Dragon. And as you can see, I picked the scales to match the dragon. If you look closely, this is a 6/8 full-bellied hollow with zebra Damascus, so patterned welded steel. It also has a Damascus wedge, and then of course the dragon scales on top. And if you look at the front of it, it's hard to see, but it kind of looks like a dragon's head. So that's the razor, and it's been stropped normal time. Now, at the same time, Ulrich had brushes, but they weren't, and I asked him if he would do a matching brush. As far as I know, he doesn't, and he told me he doesn't usually do matching brushes, but he agreed because of I had explained to him the importance of this razor, and so he did a matching brush in the Ice Dragon scales, and it's just a beautiful brush. It's got a High Mountain White. In fact, it's got the same brush that SV uses, and you'll see another one tomorrow in our 2023. Okay, so that gives you the setup for the shave. Now, during that time, there were a ton of artisans, and and I apologize, just due to the timing, I had to pick the soaps and stuff that I felt that were important to me as well, and also important in history. However, once we get into the later decades of 2010 to 2023, there was so much. You had A&E, you had Sterling, you had Mystic Water, you had Fine. There were so many, and they're all great. But I had to pick one that between 2015 and 2020 was the epitome, because I told you yesterday that SV 70th was the top of the den. Well, things started changing around 2015 because my partner, CBL Soaps, started going nuclear on some of the soaps he was making. Just absolutely fantastic. And one of those was Orion. And it actually unseated both of these soaps, being that. But if I had to pick one soap that epitomized the 2015 to 2020 for me, it was Panacrema Nuavia Verde. Now, unfortunately, this is now unobtainium. Not only we had spoken about the fact that this container is unobtainium, but now the whole company has sunsetted, so the last of the soaps are still remaining. Verde was always my favorite, and it maintained the top soap in the den until Orion came along, and then most recently with the Litsea Kubeba, now CBL Soaps reign supreme all the way across. So that's what we're shaving with today. We'll go over the aftershaves and everything else after we're done. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. We've got one more, and then we're going to be moving on to another series down the road, and I think I know what I'm going to do. I'll leave that as a surprise, because Charles Priest, another one of our viewers, had mentioned, why not doing military razors throughout history, or not through military razors in general, and that is a consideration for maybe another one. But the other one I really, really like, and hopefully we can make that happen, maybe a week or two or down the road before I can put everything together. For those of you that have not tried Panacrema Nuavia, if you can find some, get it. Don't even research it, just buy it. I think there may still be some left at their site, and there's a few, I'm not sure what vendors still carry Panacrema, but I know it was going fast. The Verde, as far as I know, was sold out. I think the Nera, the Rosa, and the Blue. I think the Blue had sold out first. But I mentioned yesterday that I really like the freshness of the Italian citrus and just the freshness of it. Panacrema is 70th on steroids, in my opinion. Just absolutely wonderful. Makes the face feel great. Wonderful, wonderful performance. So if you can get some, buy it. It is not cheap. Even if you buy it directly from them, shipping costs can be expensive, but it all works out. It's just that hopefully you can find some, and I don't think most people will not sell it on the secondary market. I don't think they might. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. we hope that our subscribers and any other new viewers will join us for our Drinks and Daves episode tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific. I have not looked. I know that my partner, Nurse Dave, has already posted the subject because we kind of switch back and forth on who gets to pick what as far as subject. And as I said in the opening of the show, I hope I'm headed to Phoenix today to hopefully secure our next guest, get some pictures, I hope. So join us tonight to find out more, and you can find us at Drinks and Daves. Right now, YouTube has a rule that you cannot post live until you have 100 subscribers, and we're so brand new. We're sitting at, I don't know, 40 or 50. So I would really appreciate, and I've asked before, I'd really appreciate if our viewers would go over and subscribe to Drinks and Daves. And even if the live show is not your thing, please subscribe. It helps us because what we can do is we can start streaming live from that channel specific once we get to 100 subscribers. Because right now you can view our show on either this channel or on Nurse Dave's Shaving World. So either way, but we really want to start streaming on our own channel. It'll just make things easier all the way across the board. So again, please subscribe, tell your friends. It's a fun show. We talk about all kinds of things. So as I mentioned earlier, between 2015 and 2020 was just an explosion, a continuing explosion, I guess I should say, of artisans. And I should say, some of you have noticed that, I went to 2020 and not directly to 2022. Well, from late 2019 to 2022 was a little bit of a tumultuous time, as we all know, due to the COVID virus. And that actually, unfortunately, for a lot of the new artisans that were coming out, it was a tough time, and I get it. I mean, your larger artisans like Ariane and Evans, Sterling, they made it through with no problem. And like I said, when choosing what to use for soaps, I just had to choose what the favorites, and it's nothing, and it's not a knock against any of those other artisans, because I've got tons and tons of their soap. But like I said, this shave is really all about the hardware. Okay, final pass. And this again is one of those soaps, the Verde especially. And I've tried them all, but the Verde just, it makes your face feel alive. I mean, that's the one thing that I notice. I should mention, for those of you just joining us for the first time, if you want to watch this series, you don't have to search through videos. I have condensed this into a playlist. As well as the Straight Razor Learning Series. And the other thing, I obviously put a barber's notch in here so I could do the Fool's Pass. And as I've mentioned before, if you notice when I'm doing that pass, I have a tendency to move my head more than the razor. I feel that it, by stabilizing your hand, it's a lot easier than stabilizing the razor. There's one slip on the razor and it's all over. You will be noseless, as they say. A little bit of cleanup, as always, with straights. This razor's a little bit tougher to do the flat planing, or flat blading, I should say. Because of the full belly hollow, you just touch your face and it's that sharp. Okay. All right, so there's 3 passes. And just a wonderful, like I said, just a wonderful razor. It means a lot to me because it was given to me for a, it'll always represent the fact that I quit smoking, and it'll also represent the fact that Avocado Queen gave it to me. So it's just a beautiful razor. The Korat. And if you are looking to buy a custom straight razor, definitely look at him. He isn't inexpensive, but you can configure the razor exactly the way you want. Virtually no alum bite at all. So I know that there's a lot of people right now that think that you know, with the advent of a lot of artisans leaving the business, that we're back into, are headed back towards a shaved desert. I disagree. I think that you'll probably see things stabilize in the shaving market, but you know, a lot of the major players that have been around a long time, Geo Fatboy, Arian Evans, Sterling, they've transitioned, you know, CBL Soaps, they've transitioned from being small artisans to pretty good-sized businesses. So I don't think anybody's going anywhere. Plus the distribution, you know, the distribution model for shaving stuff is far and wide. So I don't think you'll see too much changing as far as that goes. It may stabilize. And there's newer companies coming out all the time. Like I said, I've been in the wet shaving game for a long, long time, and I had just heard about Hoffman's. And so we're going to be, once that gets here, I will be reviewing that. And I guess I should also mention during it, oh, forgot to say that. Come on, Dave. Thayer's Cucumber. One thing I forgot to mention is during that 2015 to 2020 decade, there was a razor making company that came out that took everything by storm. And I can tell you why, because of that. That's right, that's Shane at Blackbird Razors. The Tridari, which is now being sunsetted. The Vector, which in my opinion is the absolute best feather style, single-edged DE style razor on the market, period, end of story. And then of course the one that started it all for them is the Blackbird. Now the Blackbird, this is the Blackbird TI, and that's the titanium. Easily the most efficient and aggressive razor that I have in my arsenal. But so those are the things that happened during that period of time. So a lot of stuff going on. Today we're going to be using the Panacrim Nuavia Verde Aftershave Balm. This stuff is really, really good. I wish it was fragranced a little bit more, so you could really get the scent of the Nuavia Verde. But in my search for finding a matchy fragrance to pair with it, I found that Acqua di Gio is the best, in my opinion. It is a light citrus, so it fades fairly quick. So what does that mean? Just put on more. Come on, guys. All right, guys, that's it for Shave Across the Decades 2015 to 2020. Please join us tomorrow. Please join us tomorrow, as many as you can get, for our finale, 2023, 22, right around in there. That'll be our finale of our multi-part series on Shaves Across the Decades. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home and Barber Dave's Shaves and Such, whatever we're calling it. Don't forget, join us 6 p.m. tonight Pacific, Drinks and Daves. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.